Today we're counting down the 50 oldest actors still alive in 2026. Before we continue, let me know where you are from. Also remember to subscribe, like, and comment if you like this type of content. Okay, let's dive in. Number 1. Eva Marie Saint. Eva Marie Saint is the oldest living Oscar winner, and she earned that Oscar on her very first film, On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando in 1954. Imagine winning an Academy Award on your debut, but she didn't stop there. Alfred Hitchcock himself handpicked her to star opposite Cary Grant in North by Northwest, one of the most iconic thrillers ever made. That train scene, pure cinema magic. At 101 years old, she's not just Hollywood history. She is the earliest surviving Academy Award winner. During the pandemic in her late 90s, she was still performing in online plays. That's dedication. That's a love for the craft that time cannot diminish. Number 2. Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke turned 100 in December 2025, and he's still performing. This is the man who danced with animated penguins in Mary Poppins, who made us believe a car could fly in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, who revolutionized television with the Dick Van Dyke Show. At 98, he became the oldest contestant ever on The Masked Singer. At 99, he appeared in a Coldplay music video dancing barefoot and singing His Secret. He goes to the gym 3 times a week. His wife Arlene, 46 years younger, keeps him active. When asked about turning 100, he said something profound. 100 years is not enough. That's not just longevity, that's living. Number 3. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks changed comedy forever. Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, The Producers, these aren't just movies, they're cultural earthquakes. Brooks tackled racism head-on with humor so sharp that Blazing Saddles couldn't even be made today. He's one of only 21 people to achieve EGOT status. That's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. In January 2026, HBO released a documentary called Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man, and get this, he's not done. In June 2025, he announced Spaceballs 2 is in production with a 2027 release date. At 99, still creating, still making people laugh. His philosophy: I think I can say anything serious if it's funny. Comedy as activism, comedy as art. Number 4. Sir David Attenborough. If you've ever watched a nature documentary and felt your soul stir, you've experienced David Attenborough's magic. For over 70 years, this man has shown us the wonders of our planet. The Life series, Life on Earth, The Life of Birds, The Life of Mammals, these are masterpieces. At 99, his voice still carries that same wonder, that same reverence for life. He's traveled to every continent, filmed in the most remote corners of Earth, brought us face to face with creatures we'd never otherwise see. More than a broadcaster, he's become the voice of our planet, warning us about climate change while still finding beauty in every living thing. A treasure, a global icon. Number 5. Lisa Liu. Lisa Liu bridges Eastern and Western cinema like few others. She starred in Bernardo Bertolucci's The Last Emperor, appeared in The Joy Luck Club, and decades later showed up in Crazy Rich Asians. A 3-time Golden Horse Award winner, she's still active, still working, still inspiring. Her elegance, her cross-cultural impact, her ability to navigate both Hollywood and Chinese-language cinema, remarkable. At 99, she represents the globalization of film before globalization was even a concept. Number 6. William Daniels. If you grew up watching Boy Meets World, you know William Daniels as Mr. Feeney, the teacher who shaped an entire generation's understanding of wisdom and guidance. But his career goes so much deeper. He was the voice of Kit in Knight Rider. He starred in Sent Elsewhere. He's won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards over an 8-decade career. Married to actress Bonnie Bartlett since 1951. That's 74 years of marriage. At 98, he and his wife represent Hollywood's longest-standing power couples. Loyalty, longevity, and legendary performances. Number 7. Nancy Olson. Nancy Olson is the last surviving cast member of Sunset Boulevard, one of the greatest films ever made. She earned an Oscar nomination for that performance in 1950. Think about that. She worked on a film that defined Hollywood's dark side, its obsession with youth and beauty. And she's still here. She also appeared in Pollyanna, bringing warmth and grace to Disney's family films. At 97, she's a living connection to Billy Wilder, Gloria Swanson, and old Hollywood glamour. Number 8. James Hong. James Hong has over 600 film and television credits. 600. You've seen him in Big Trouble in Little China, Blade Runner, Kung Fu Panda. Recently, he stole scenes in Everything Everywhere All at Once, finally getting the recognition he deserved. He studied civil engineering, worked as a road engineer, then quit everything to act full-time. He co-founded East West Players, one of the first Asian American theater groups, helping to increase representation in Hollywood when no one else would. In 2021, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. At 96, he's still working, still fighting, still inspiring. Number 9, June Squibb. June Squibb's career exploded in her 80s. Most people would be retired, she became a star. Nebraska earned her an Oscar nomination at 84. Then in 2024 at 95 she starred in the action comedy Thelma, performing many of her own stunts. Read that again, 95 years old, doing her own stunts. She's proof that it's never too late. Your story isn't over until you say it is. Age is just a number when you've got passion. Number 10, Marion Ross. Most important work, Happy Days as Marion Cunningham, Mrs. C. She became a household name at 45 when most thought her career was over. She starred in Happy Days for 11 seasons, from 1970 to 1984. She continued working after the show with roles in that 70s show, Gilmore Girls, SpongeBob SquarePants. She is still alive at 97, retired and living on her Happy Days farm. Her life advice, keep a positive attitude and enjoy every day. Number 11, Clint Eastwood. The man with no name, Dirty Harry, one of the greatest directors of all time. Clint Eastwood went from spaghetti westerns with Sergio Leone to becoming a cinematic legend. $1 Million Baby, Gran Torino, Unforgiven, American Sniper. He's been working in Hollywood for over 70 years and he's still directing. His most recent film, Juror Number 2, came out in 2024. At 95, still creating, still relevant, he didn't just ride the wave of different eras in Hollywood, he helped create them, a living institution. Number 12, Hal Linden. Hal Linden made Captain Barney Miller one of the most beloved characters in television history. For 8 seasons from 1975 to 1982, he led the precinct at the fictional 12th in Greenwich Village with wisdom, compassion, and that perfect blend of humor and heart. 7 Emmy nominations, 3 Golden Globe nominations. Before Barney Miller, he was a Tony Award-winning Broadway star. After it ended, he kept working. Gilmore Girls, Grey's Anatomy, You People with Eddie Murphy in 2023. At 94, he appeared at The Hollywood Show in June 2025 talking about his career. He still performs cabaret, released his first album in 2011, and remains one of the most respected actors of his generation. Proof that talent never retires. Number 13, Robert Wagner. Robert Wagner became a television icon with Heart to Heart. He embodied old Hollywood glamour, working with Spencer Tracy and the biggest stars of his era. His career spanned from westerns in the 1950s to detective shows in the 80s. At 95, he represents a bygone era of suave leading men and classic Hollywood stardom. Still here, still part of that incredible legacy. Number 14, Joanne Woodward. Joanne Woodward won an Oscar for The Three Faces of Eve in 1957. She was married to Paul Newman for 50 years until his death in 2008. One of Hollywood's most legendary love stories. She's a powerhouse actress who chose substance over glamour, taking complex roles that challenged her. At 95, she's living quietly, but her impact on cinema and her marriage to Newman remains iconic. Number 15, Tippi Hedren. Alfred Hitchcock discovered Tippi Hedren and made her immortal with The Birds and Marnie. But her story goes beyond that. She's the mother of Melanie Griffith and grandmother of Dakota Johnson, a Hollywood dynasty. After her film career, she became a fierce animal welfare activist, founding a wildlife sanctuary in California. At 95, she's dedicated her life to protecting big cats and other animals, a star who used her platform for genuine good. Number 16, Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall, The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, The Apostle, 7 Oscar nominations, 1 win. This man brings a lived-in authenticity to every role. He makes characters feel real, textured, emotionally believable. He's worked with the greatest directors, Coppola, Lucas, Altman. At 94, he represents the kind of steady stardom built on reliability, professionalism, and unmistakable screen presence. A legend. Number 17, William Shatner. Captain Kirk, the man who boldly went where no one had gone before, and he literally did. At 90 in 2021, William Shatner became the oldest person to travel to space. Star Trek made him immortal, but he kept reinventing himself. Boston Legal, documentaries, a Twitter presence that rivals people a quarter his age. At 94, he's still going, still creating, still pushing boundaries. Space wasn't the final frontier. Age isn't either. Number 18, Rita Moreno. Rita Moreno is one of only 19 people to achieve EGOT status. She won an Oscar for West Side Story in 1961. She's a trailblazer for Latina actresses in Hollywood, breaking barriers when no one else could. She returned to West Side Story in Steven Spielberg's 2021 remake as an executive producer, coming full circle. At 93, she's still performing, still dancing, still inspiring, a living legend of stage and screen. Number 19, Marla Gibbs. Marla Gibbs didn't even start acting until she was divorced with 3 kids, working as a receptionist. Then she became a sitcom legend. The Jeffersons, 227. She wrote a memoir called It's Never Too Late. If that doesn't inspire you, nothing will. At 94, she's proof that your best years can come when you least expect them. Don't let anyone tell you you've missed your chance. Number 20, Ellen Burstyn. Ellen Burstyn won an Oscar for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. She terrified audiences in The Exorcist. She's earned 6 Oscar nominations across 5 decades. Requiem for a Dream showed she could still deliver gut-wrenching performances in her 60s. At 92, she's still acting, still taking on challenging roles, a fearless actress who never played it safe. Number 21, Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren, an icon of Italian cinema who became an international superstar. She won an Oscar for Two Women in 1961, becoming the first actor to win for a foreign language performance. She worked with the greatest directors: Vittorio De Sica, Charlie Chaplin, the epitome of glamour, grace, and raw talent. At 91, she remains a symbol of timeless beauty and strength. Number 22, Julie Andrews. Julie Andrews is Mary Poppins. She is Maria von Trapp in The Sound of Music. She won an Oscar on her film debut. That voice, that grace, that ability to make magic feel real. She lost her singing voice in the late 90s after surgery, devastating for someone whose voice defined a generation. But she kept going. Voice work, writing children's books, narration. At 90, she's still contributing, still inspiring, a true icon. Number 23, Sir Michael Caine. That Cockney accent, that unmistakable voice. Michael Caine has been in over 160 films: Alfie, The Italian Job, The Dark Knight trilogy, Hannah and Her Sisters. He's won 2 Oscars. He's worked with everyone from Christopher Nolan to Woody Allen. At 91, he recently said he's done acting, but then came back for another role, because that's what legends do. They can't stay away from the craft they love. Number 24, Morgan Freeman. That voice, Morgan Freeman's voice, is the narrator of our collective consciousness. The Shawshank Redemption, Driving Miss Daisy, C7N, $1 Million Baby. He didn't become a major star until his 50s, proving it's never too late. He's narrated everything from March of the Penguins to The Story of God. At 88, his presence alone elevates any project. Dignity, gravitas, timeless. Number 25, Anthony Hopkins. Hannibal Lecter, the role that defined terror with sophistication. Anthony Hopkins won an Oscar for just 16 minutes of screen time in The Silence of the Lambs, but his range goes so much deeper. The Remains of the Day, Nixon, The Father, for which he won his 2nd Oscar at 83. The oldest Best Actor winner ever, at 88. He's still delivering performances that shake you to your core, still brilliant, still terrifying, still unforgettable.